Hey everyone, I'm Andrew Levenson, Director of Growth for MHP TeamSI. I'm joining you today as part of our Ask the Experts series, where we're kind of deep diving into different topics and subjects. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about our marketing automation platform, Nurture, and go into detail about its features, its functionality, really explain what Nurture is. I'm also going to talk a little bit about how it compares to, I would say, what is the most comparable software, which is HubSpot. So I'm going to talk about some of the differences, some of the similarities when it comes to both pricing and features of the two platforms. So to start out, really giving a background of what Nurture is. So Nurture is a marketing automation program that is built on a software called SharpSpring. So what we do with Nurture is really bring all of these different marketing automation and marketing touch points into one software to really automate these different marketing communications to customers. So you bring in email marketing, you bring in text messaging, you bring in automation, you bring in your contact databases, your marketing attribution, all into one place. And what you're really able to do there is automate, like I mentioned, these different marketing touch points. So let's say someone fills out a form on your website, and then through Nurture, they immediately receive an email alert thanking them for submitting a form. And then one of your salespeople receives an email alert saying they have a new lead. And then a dynamic email comes from their email automatically. And then 5 days later, they're entered into an automatic email drip campaign and a new opportunity is created. So basically, we're able to automate all of these kind of sales touch points, but also automate different marketing touch points within the system. So that's really the main use of Nurture, but Nurture is incredibly robust in its features and its functionality. So it has social listening tools, it has list building capabilities, email design tools, media tracking. So all of these different kind of facets of the platform, but really at its core, it is a digital lead tracking and kind of marketing communication automation tool that we've seen a lot of success in for many of our clients. So that's kind of a high level overview of what Nurture does. So talking about some of the benefits and kind of the key value adds in Nurture versus HubSpot. So whenever I'm asked to compare the two programs, what I always gravitate to first is the pricing. So Nurture is incredibly competitive in the pricing compared to many other CRM and marketing automation programs that are comparable to it in features and functionality, including HubSpot. So a common complaint we hear about HubSpot is all of their paywalls and how they basically build out their pricing plan. So for example, HubSpot has their marketing hub, and they have their service hub, and their operations hub, and their sales hub, and each of those has different pricing involved in it. Most of them are based on the amount of contacts you have, the amount of users. Then within each of those hubs, there are specific features that have additional costs associated with them. So a lot of times we'll have clients that will be in HubSpot and will come to us kind of with some frustrations about all of those different paywalls and kind of a lot of the hidden fees associated with HubSpot. So you start and then you realize that there's a lot of functionality you would like, but you actually can't have without paying additional fees within HubSpot. So in comparison, Nurture has no hidden fees. So we're very transparent about the costs associated with the platform. And the only thing you will ever pay for is if you go over certain overages. So for instance, like all platforms do, there's some limits to what you can do in the platform in terms of email sends, in terms of contacts that you can add each month. But those limits are very high. So contact add is 100,000. I believe HubSpot starts at their plan at 500 contacts. So it's a very, very large overages. Typically, we don't see people reach those, but that's really, I would say, one of the key benefits. Like when you sign on for Nurture, you get all of the features and all the functionality within the platform for no additional costs, again, unless you reach any of those overages. So in terms of pricing, that I would say is the most kind of competitive feature. And in terms of what you would be paying, so our full Nurture cost is $12.50 a month. And in comparison, most of HubSpot's entry level kind of cost structures are around the $1,500 mark. So if you were going to have comparable features like 100,000 contacts and the email send functionality, you would be looking at between $5,000 to $6,000 in HubSpot each month. Comparatively to about $12.50 in Nurture/SharpSpring each month. So pricing is very competitive for what it offers. And in terms of features, both HubSpot and Nurture really offer almost all of the same features. So from an email marketing perspective, you can do everything you can in HubSpot, also in Nurture. So you can design your emails, you can build email lists, you can do dynamic content insertion. You can do all of these different things from an email design and kind of deliverability perspective, and that you can in HubSpot. From a CRM perspective, very similar. And also from a really common question we get is about email sync. So I would say a difference between Nurture and HubSpot are the ability to automatically bring in all emails to leads in Nurture, as opposed to HubSpot. You have to like CC a specific email, and it's just a little clunky to actually get email communications into the platform and to associate with a specific contact. Whereas with SharpSpring, it's completely automatic, but that feature still lies in Nurture, very comparable to what HubSpot offers. From an automation standpoint, it's kind of the same thing. So you can set up all these visual workflows, triggers based on different data or different actions and behaviors that leads are taking place. Built-in chatbot in Nurture as well, just like HubSpot has. I will say one key difference between HubSpot and Nurture. HubSpot has some built-in integrations that Nurture does not. So HubSpot has kind of an app or integration library where you can, let's say you want SMS functionality in HubSpot, you can go to their app library and find an application that offers SMS, and then that will actually build additional functionality into your HubSpot instance. So if you add on that SMS integration, then you would be able to send SMS through HubSpot, and you would have kind of new functionality. Whereas with Nurture, we would have to use an external service. So we'd have to have an external SMS provider that would then like push data into Nurture, whereas you wouldn't be able to do all that functionality kind of in the platform. You'd have to use a third party. So that is a key benefit to HubSpot. If you're looking to add a lot of functionality that's not necessarily out of the box with HubSpot or with Nurture, you're looking for all of these different third-party integrations. Those are typically a little bit easier or smoother with HubSpot because you're able to bring those all into the platform. But overall, from a kind of a higher level, HubSpot and Nurture are very comparable with features and functionality. I would say virtually anything you can do in HubSpot, you could also do in Nurture. And then I would say the biggest value add of Nurture over a similar product like HubSpot would be the pricing. Really, from what we've seen and from what we've kind of vetted and researched from these other marketing automation platforms, Nurture's pricing tends to be substantially cheaper than these other platforms. And like I've mentioned, also offers the same, if not similar functionality as these platforms. So It's kind of, again, a high-level overview of really what the Nurture platform is, how it compares to HubSpot with its pricing, and then how it also compares with features and functionality. So if you'd like to learn more about Nurture, you can reach out to myself or anyone else at MHP TeamSI, and we can set you up with a demo, show you more about the features, talk about your problems and your issues you're facing currently. But with that said, thank you.